Hey y'all, so have you heard about this new MMO called New Worlds that everyone keeps talking about and you have no idea what it is? You're not the only one that has that question. That's why we're making this video, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so New Worlds is a brand new MMO. It's being developed and published by Amazon Game Studios and Double Helix Games. It's set to release August 25th, 2020. It was supposed to come out in May. The flu pandemic put a nix on that. So they delayed it until August 25th. That is the scheduled release date. You know, that could move back. You never really know this year. It's kind of crazy. So beta is going to be in July. It's a closed beta. If you buy the game, you get into the beta. I'm not sure about an open beta. I haven't actually seen anything yet. I will update, obviously, if that comes out. Yeah, so the game was initially supposed to be a free-to-play game, and they changed it to a buy-to-play game. It's gonna release for $40, 40 US dollars. They have said that there will not be a subscription. It will have a cash shop. So the direct quote, and I will put it up on the screen here so you can see it, is this is the game director. We're going to monetize as just premium. So straight up, you pay a flat rate, come in, join the game. It's a live service. As it expands, you're in that community. You're going to have microtransactions in the game, but no loot boxes, no pay to win. It's all like additional vanity content. So as far as the monetization model goes, it sounds a lot like Elder Scrolls Online. I play that game. You buy Elder Scrolls Online and you never have to subscribe ever, and they have a cash shop now. Elder Scrolls Online has an optional subscription that comes with extra DLCs and different things. So that it sounds a lot like Elder Scrolls Online. I expect at some point they may or may not put a subscription model in, depending on how their monetization scheme or whatever works out with the game. But like I said, if I had to bet my money on it, I would say it's gonna be a lot like Elder Scrolls. It sounds like it with their monetization. It's pretty fair. It's all cosmetic. Yeah, we'll just see how this goes. So one of the big things here is the game. It won't have a mega server. I was a fan of the idea of a mega server until I played Elder Scrolls Online, and that game has horrendous performance. Part of that is the coding to the game is the engine wasn't super great, or isn't super great. So, but yeah, the game will not have a mega server. They will not have, as of right now, they won't have any dedicated PvP servers. That could change later. That's kind of a disappointment, but it's open world PvP, and we'll get to that later. So you know, that's okay. They did confirm it's one character per server, because I guess the way your character, you can free respec your character, so they're saying there aren't any need for any alts on that server. Maybe they'll sell that in the cash shop, like you can have an alt or whatever. I don't know yet. I haven't seen anything. But they did confirm it's one character per server. Game is going to have server side. It's going to be a server side game based around clouds or Amazon Cloud Services, AWS. Server side games are good. Server side games a lot of the times will prevent a lot of cheating and things like that. But you know, we'll see. Server side games also come with their own performance issues because you're at the mercy of their server. Versus when it's client side, a lot of it is based on your PC and how that performs. But yeah, and it is going to be on cloud or Amazon's AWS, which is their cloud service. So that's good because that's already like established and it works, right? So we'll see. It's going to be, the game is going to be based around it's a proprietary version of the CryEngine. It's called Amazon Lumberyard. CryEngine's really solid. The Far Cry games are on the CryEngine, and it's tested and tried and true sort of engine, right? It's a great engine. So they basically, Amazon took that engine and made their own proprietary engine. Like I said, it's called Amazon Lumberyard. That's what the game is going to be on. One of my most exciting things with this is they're going to have Twitch integration, and not only are they going to have Twitch integration, they're also going to have what they're calling streamer armies, right? So your Twitch viewer, like you can mark yourself as a Twitch streamer, and then your viewers can come and join your streamer army, and you guys can go wreck things. That sounds really fun. It also, like, not only for PvP, but like for PvE, like if you want to go and do like an instance, like you can be like legit, like like gang style, man, and like roll in there like, hey, like I'm with, you know, Zod's army or whatever. We're like gonna go like people could see you and stuff. Like that's really neat. Obviously, Amazon with the Twitch Prime stuff, like, you know, that makes sense. I figured they would do something like that. So PvP in this game is primarily PvP is primarily what the game is about. So PvP is optional. It didn't used to be, I guess, in the early alphas of the game, and they changed it. So now PvP is essentially going to be a toggle. You can opt in or opt out of PvP. Opting into PvP, they're saying is going to grant you extra rewards. They haven't specifically said which ones. I think EXP was one of the ones that was confirmed. So extra EXP, extra rewards. Like if you turn the PvP toggle on, it's supposed to be, you know, extra risk, extra reward. That sounds really interesting. Like, you know, incentivize people to PvP who like to PvE. Because it's really exciting. You know, not everyone likes to do it, but incentivize the people who want to. You're gonna have 3 factions in the game to join. And then you're gonna get, I guess, specific quests for that faction to go out and get gear and different things like that. Active combat in the game, the way it's described in a way that I've seen, it looks a lot like Elder Scrolls Online or Black Desert Online. It's action combat. They said there's no tab targeting. I kind of hope they leave tab targeting optional as far as like, I know when I play ESO, if I need to target a specific player or like a specific like mob, I like to have that tab target, but if they're not going to have it in the game, that's okay too. But yeah, it's action combat. Everything, you got to land everything. You got to aim at stuff. You got to land stuff, like actively land it. I love that combat. I'm not a huge fan of like WoW's tab targeting, World of Warcraft. I'm not actually a huge fan of that. So if that's something you're into, that kind of action combat, this will be for you. As far as other stuff, so guilds control the towns in this game. This is something that makes me nervous, this whole part here. So guilds control the towns. They call them companies. So they control everything that goes on in the town. There are no merchants in the game. It's all player merchants. So players sell all the gear. Players sell all the like crafting materials. All your houses are in town. And you have to pay the company or the guild who owns the town. You have to pay them tax. So this is where it makes me nervous, because not only are there no, like I said, there's no NPC merchants, the guilds own the towns, and so they can sell everything. So potentially what could happen is you could have something that like happened in BDO, where your main like top guilds will stay main top guilds like forever, because they own the biggest towns, so they sell all the gear and all the stuff, right? And they go and they like sit on the grinds, and you know what I mean, and like own all the grinding spots and stuff. So like, because this is open world PvP, like this makes me very nervous. It's okay though, you know, we'll see how they do it. So the way the towns work is you fight, and then you own a territory or a town, and then what happens is you schedule like a battle, right? So if your town becomes contested, you schedule a battle, and there are 50 versus 50 battles over these territories. Other people who aren't in the guild can also help you and join and sign up to like fight for you or give you supplies or whatever. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we'll see how that ends up. Also, I made a note in here, gear binds to characters. So maybe it won't be as kind of crazy as it is in Black Desert. But we'll see. I'm really interested in this. It also has the potential to have like a thing where like you have a main guild and everyone gets frustrated with them or whatever. Everybody's not having it, and they rise up and have like an overthrow them. That'd be kind of interesting. All right, y'all. So let's move on to PvE. So PvE was an afterthought when this game was first being developed. It is not now. There's a couple things they've confirmed. So this game will have PvE based arenas, like 4 to 5 man instances where you have to instance in as a group, and you fight whatever boss, whatever mobs, like waves of mobs and things like that are in there. We haven't got a ton of information on that. They did confirm at least one. It's you have to go in and fight like a Spriggan boss. It looks really cool. They said that's the way to get like some of the best gear in the game. This game will not have any instance dungeons. It's something they've confirmed when the game launches. Won't have any instance dungeons. They will have, though, they're like non-instance dungeons, basically. So there are areas of interest, I guess, with waves of mobs is the way it was described, and the way that I've seen it. And you fight through and explore that, and then there'll be like name bosses where you fight and get like legendary loot and things like that. So that seems very interesting. That's right up my alley. I like main a tank and a DPS, so it's perfect. There will be open world bosses. So if you've ever played any of their MMOs, as far as like, you know, your big giant boss that spawns in a field, Black Desert, Elder Scrolls, WoW, I'll have them. Sometimes you find them in caves or whatever, or flying around, but it will have the open world bosses. So what happens is you go mob on the boss, you guys go kill him. It's all, you know, it's all shed loot or fight over loot. I have no idea how that's going to work. So earlier we talked about how you could fight with player versus player, like over town. So apparently there's also these things called invasions where NPCs will actually come and invade your town and you have to defend it. That's something I've always kind of wanted. I'm a big Elder Scrolls Online fan, and that's something I've always wanted in that game, and they've never really done it. I'm really, really excited to see what they do with that. As far as classes, there are no classes in this game. What happens is you have your character that you pick, and you have base stats you level up, and then you have weapon skill lines. I think they said there's at least 3 or 4 different weapon skill lines, and each weapon skill line has, I think, like 30 different points you can spec into. So that sounds really interesting. That makes the game kind of more play like you want. You're not stuck with a class. All right, so this is something I've had tons of people in my community, my live streaming community, ask me about, like every time I mention this game. So all your other stuff, as far as like your life skills, your you know, your crafting and your professions and things like that, and your housing. So this game looks like it's going to be pretty robust for that kind of stuff because of the way the town works. Things that have been confirmed already, crafting professions, I'm going to put them up on the screen here. It's going to be blacksmithing, engineering, outfitting, alchemy, cooking, wilderness survival, jewelry crafting. Other life skills that have been hinted at are going to be logging and carpentry, mining, masonry, smelting, harvesting and weaving, tracking, skinning and tanning, fishing, farming, bounty hunting, which sounds interesting, treasure hunting, which also sounds really awesome, building, and then they're going to have a housing system, which looks really cool. So not only are they going to have a housing leaderboard, so like you accumulate points depending on which items you put in your house, I guess, and how you decorate it. You're also going to get a free fast travel to your house whenever you want, I guess, which is really nice. And also items you put in your house will grant you buffs. But now they didn't say buffs outside the house. I don't know if, like, let's say you get a cooking buff if you do it in your house because you have like a special frying pan or whatever. Like that actually all sounds really interesting. Like, one of the reasons I don't do housing usually in games is because there's not like an incentive for me, like an extra incentive other than like decorating it. Like, if they put buffs in the house, I've never actually played a game. And you can leave it down in the comments below. You can let me know, but I've never played a game that gave you a buff for like having like a special stove in your house to cook the food on. Like that sounds really interesting. They're really incentivizing housing in this game. But as far as the life skilling stuff, this is just the stuff that I guess they've confirmed for launch. This obviously could change because the game hasn't come out yet. But I'm really, really, really excited about what I see for profession. So, you know, we'll see how that shakes out. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am for this new Amazon MMO New World. Comes out soon, guys. If you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Liking the video helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm, helps to promote the video. Catch me on my live stream, twitch.tv/berserk_zod. Links down in the description, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Peace.